So with the next GTA Online update announced and around the corner, I feel this is the perfect time to review the Cayo Perico Heist update. Now, as someone who has passed level 1000, playing GTA Online since it launched over 7 years ago, I can confidently say that this is actually the best update, money-making wise, that we have ever gotten added to GTA Online. There are many reasons why. First and best reason is due to the time to profit ratio. The pay is always guaranteed to be at minimum around $1 million, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on what primary target you end up getting each run. Then there's a secondary loot that only adds to the pay. This combined with the fact that the entire heist, from scouting to preps to the finale, can all be done in about an hour if you know what you're doing. There are even speedrunners that have done this in under 30 minutes. Of course, you will need to scope out the drainage type and likely practice the heist a few times to get the stealth down for maximum efficiency, but it can be done. Once you get it down, it's like taking candy from a baby. Except the candy is cash and the baby is El Rubio. The second reason is the freedom in which you're given throughout the entire thing. Preps are all in free mode. And on top of that, it can all be done in invite-only session. Yes, you heard me right, invite-only session. This means you can do whatever you want, however you want, using whatever vehicles you want, all while not having to worry about XX Dickhead 69 blowing you up with his cock rocket Mark II. A few other preps can be optional too, however, I highly suggest always doing the armor one. You can even save a scuba suit to one of your outfits to be able to use in the scouting mission, allowing you to quickly swim around the side of the island, thus not having to worry about sneaking past the majority of the guards on the way to go to the tower. As for the heist finale itself, there are so many points of entry to choose from, and while it is recommended to deploy from your Kosaka submarine and go through the drainage tunnel, as that is the fastest method of doing this heist, you can always mix it up if you start to get bored. If you scout out the cargo truck and guard outfits, which are always randomized in their locations each time you do the scouting mission, you can even drive around the entire island without suspicion. Loot and equipment like grappling hooks are also randomized each time. All this makes the heist much more replayable. The cherry on top, it can all be done solo. That's probably my favorite part of this entire update. You can do the entire heist solo. You don't have to rely on randoms to get it done. Let's face it, 90% of the time you try to do this heist with a random, or any heist with a random, they don't even know what the fuck they're doing and they don't even join your party. A few other things I want to mention here before we move on to the second part of this review. I do appreciate the first time you go through the heist, there's a major story element to it. However, it's only for the first time, which means you're not forced to watch the same damn cutscenes over and over. Plus, there was a Dr. Dre cameo, so that was pretty neat. I also appreciate the fact that this is technically GTA Online's first map expansion, even if it's not in free mode. Honestly though, I'm kinda glad it's not in free mode. It would be overrun by tryhards, just like the rest of this map. Besides, the fact that it's not in free mode, Cayo Perico is just that much more of a treat when you actually do visit it. However, there are some glitches you can use that you can look up on YouTube to glitch yourself onto the island if you really want it in free mode. Alright, so most of the positive things I had to say about this update has just been said, because now it's time to get into the second part of this review. The vehicles. Now don't get me wrong, not all of them are bad, but some of them just have a lot of missed potential. First up, we have the Stealth Annihilator. Now don't get me wrong, the Annihilator Stealth is a welcome addition to GTA Online. It's just the fact that the first helicopter that came before it, the Akula, is pretty much better at it in every single way. The Annihilator Stealth has weaker armor than the Akula, its machine guns are also weaker than the Akula, it's slower than the Akula, less agile than the Akula. The only thing it has better than the Akula is the fact that it can carry 2 more people, and you can have those people shoot the machine guns or players out the side. That's pretty much the only advantage it has over the Akula. Next up, we have the RO86 AKnewGod. Now, there are several things that are wrong with this one. Number one, if you use this thing to infiltrate Cayo Perico during the finale, you will notice that you're not flying it, but you're in the seats in the back compartment of it. But for whatever reason, if you try to access that in free mode, you can't. Rockstar just completely fucking said, nope, let's lock it out in free mode. Let's only make it where only 2 people can ride in the damn thing, the pilot and the co-pilot. You can't access the back cargo hold. Why? I don't fucking know. Rockstar logic. The second thing is, the real life equivalent, the wings fold back for it to go faster. And you can see in game, it looks like it should fold in, but they don't actually fold in, even though it looks like it should. But I think my biggest gripe with the AKnewGod is the fact that myself and several people I know have been sending in suggestions to add a stealth bomber to the game. But we didn't expect them to add in a stealth bomber that is the biggest fucking thing, bigger than the goddamn hangar, bigger than Titan. How are we supposed to do this? It's just so fucking huge, you can't effectively bomb with it. Yes, it goes off radar up high in the air, but the problem with bombing high up in the air in GTA Online is the fact that the render distance doesn't go that far. As soon as you get up high enough to go off radar in this thing, by the time you drop a bomb, that thing's gonna fall right through the map. It's just how GTA Online's engine works. You just can't fucking high altitude that unless you direct impact somebody. The only good thing about this thing maybe is to just cruise around at max altitude just to watch shit, and that's kind of boring. Alright, so third on the list is Hurt 31 Patrol Boat. This is the Vietnam looking boat. Don't get me wrong, this thing looks badass, and it is kind of fun to use with friends just to fight off cops, but that's pretty much where the usefulness of it ends, because this thing has 0 armor. It dies in 1 torpedo, 1 sticky bomb, 1 RPG, what do you want to call it? So what the fuck is the point of buying it in today's climate of GT Online, where we have goddamn flying bike with pinpoint accuracy missiles? It ain't gonna fly. Alright, then we got the Vapid Slam truck. This one's pretty obvious. It's supposed to be a tow truck. The only thing is that, yeah, the hook on it doesn't work. Rockstar is so fucking lazy, man. They launched the game with a working hook on a cargo bob and a fucking regular tow truck, but they can't add a new tow truck in and make it functional? Really, Rockstar? Next up, we got the cargo truck. This one is just simply because it's basically a slower version of the barracks truck we already have, and it's a bit smaller. It carries the same amount of people, but it doesn't have any armor and it's slower. Not much more to say there. Then we got the Squatty, which is basically the same problem with Patrol Boat. No armor. Don't get me wrong, the Squatty, the Humvee, it does have a bunch of customization. It does look badass when you customize it, but it would have been nice if it was like a Night Shark Mark II. That would have been cool if the Humvee was like that. And then we got the D with the turret, which is exactly what it sounds like. They just took the D, they put a turret on front and called it a day. They didn't add any extra armor. They also made it to where the turret can't turn worth a dick. Same thing as the patrol boat, except worse, because at least the patrol boat has guns on both sides. Alright, so that's the negatives, all the vehicles that I had to gripe with. Let's point out some vehicles that are done right. So obviously we got the big submarine, the Kasatka. It can go underwater and go off radar. It has a periscope that has slower but same tracking as a Mark II missile. It has these missiles you can fire that go up to 2.5 miles before you lose connection on them. And then we got, the moon-proof vehicles, the Sparrow and the mini sub. The mini sub can be used to find treasures around Los Santos. That's a pretty neat little thing they added. Sparrow is, by the way, a must-have doing the preps. You can go straight to your submarine and out with the Sparrow. I love that they did that so you don't have to go to the beach every time to get your vehicle. Then we got the Torador, which is a car submarine. It's basically a Stromberg Mark II. It's got the same armor as a Stromberg. It's got better tracking. It's got a boost, which a Stromberg doesn't. It's just all around better, except for the fact that it has more windows you can be shot out from. And then also we got the Manchester Scout, which is, just a dirt bike. It's got some great customization to it. It can do an infinite wheelie, which is pretty nice. So like I said, not all of them were bad. A lot of them had great customization, but there were just too many that just had missed potential or just didn't stand out. But honestly, I could forgive all of those negatives if they would unpatch the fucking that type glitch. While we did get a now best money making method, Rockstar also patched the ability to easily lag out into your own personal public session, be able to source and sell your business product. Honestly, if it weren't for Cayo Perico being so easy and so friendly, my level 1000 ass would have been retired the moment they patched that glitch. There are still ways to get in a solo public session, but not all of those ways work for everyone, and a lot of them are very unreliable and don't always work. That's probably the very worst part of this update, other than the fact that we didn't get a much needed nerf to the Tryhard Life Support Mark II. Anyways, to close things out here, I feel that even with all the extra shit being mostly negative, the update is still the best we have gotten just because of the heist itself. It's a perfect money-making method and actually feels like a GT Online heist, unlike that jackass in the corner over there named Doomsday Heist. Best of all, we got to meet Pavel. That's about all I had to say about the Cayo Perico update. Now I want to know, what do you think about the Cayo Perico heist update? Do you agree? Was there anything you disagreed with? Let me know in the comments below. Please drop a like if you did enjoy, or dislike if you hated it. Either way, thank you so much for giving this review a chance, and as always,